Welcome to ECN Trade Daily Video. Before we begin, it should be noted that any advice is of a general nature only and that your personal circumstances have not been taken into consideration.
Hello everyone, my name is Rob Clayton and thank you very much for joining me. Overnight, the Australian dollar weakened further and tumbled to a fresh low of 70.89 and now is only a stone's throw away from the 70, 60, 70 objective. It is assessed that further weakness should come into play now that the technical indicators are fully supporting this move, with the RSI through the midway point and the MACD breaking beneath the zero axis. Do note that a break beneath 70.60 would give further advantage for the bears to take the move down to an objective of 69.40.60, and that's where I view the base in the short term. Any advances should find resistance now at 71.55, with the supply zone above at 72 figure 40. With the dollar index clinging to the 96 handle, the euro overnight once again took a stab up to the top side and failed, with the cap still remaining at 114.45.65. The challenge did post a fresh high of 114.19. It is assessed that further bearish traction should come into play. Overnight, the market was a little bit surprised due to the unsuccessful talks between President Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. The North Korean officials failed to agree on steps towards North Korea, with the US taking down its nuclear armament. Therefore, the market is a little bit mixed in terms of what the US dollar is doing, but as it keeps in within the range of 95.40 to 96.40. But on the flip side, the euro did post a bearish outside range day, or close to a long-legged doji. Nevertheless, that is a strong rejection. I would like to see the technical indicators match up with this pattern, and therefore could see a move back to 112.50 and reassess from there. I still hold the view above 114 as a supply zone and not expect it to uphold upon any renewed challenge. Well, the dollar yen has taken a step back to the upside and now challenges near the level of 111.60. It is assessed from a technical point. I'm not fully supportive of a break sustaining or holding near 111.60, and therefore I do expect to see the market move back to 110.80 and retest the lows of this week of 110.35, which was rejected earlier. The pound has rejected further from the challenge of 133, that is 50, and now could give some clues of what the next move is going to be for the outlook to the British outlook for the British sterling, that is. The pattern needs to clear on the downside of 132.55 to 132.20. This would give further exposure back towards the 130 region. But do be a little bit cautious, because there is still a lot more news to come when it comes to the Brexit, with one on the no deal and also requesting the EU to extend its Article 50 and delay Brexit past March 29th. It is assessed, though, that this put a no deal scenario even more unlikely, if that's the case, of getting an extension. Do note, though, a break above 133.50 would give further moves to the upside, because I feel the bulls may be taking just a breather here. Technicals aren't really supporting the bear case, although we have seen a rejection from 133.5. I would be more inclined to look for supplies around 134.30 to 134.90. Well, the gold has taken one step closer to the challenge of 1,312, and at this stage it is assessed that we could see a little bit more pressure, and the bulls now need to react. As I mentioned earlier, the talks between Trump and Kim Jong-un collapsed in Vietnam, and disappointingly left with no agreement on the table. The United States and North Korea offered conflicting accounts and blamed on Thursday after a second summit meeting between the two ended abruptly without an agreement on nuclear disarmament or easing tension on the Korean peninsula. Trump said, "Sometimes you have to walk." Mr. Trump also said in a conference that Mr. Kim had offered to dismantle the North's most important nuclear facility if the United States lifted the harsh sanctions imposed on his nation, but would not commit to doing the same for other elements of its weapons program. It was about sanctions, Trump said. Basically, they wanted the sanctions lifted entirely, but we couldn't do that. Still, we got the Chinese talks to come as well, which still appears to be having some problems of reaching a closure to its tariff wars with Beijing, according to Trade Representative Robert Lazinger. So the market should find safe haven support from this level of 1,312. And I do anticipate the market should again stage a recovery as long as we maintain above 12. I'm happy to see the bull case hold in this up channel. Wrapping up with oil, there's still markings on the table that the rally can continue on to $58 a barrel. It is assessed from the technical pattern that the market may pause there, but if we get a break, then we could see further scope to 61. Do note that dips could fall back easily to the lows of 54.95 to 55.25. Well, that wraps up for today. Thank you very much for joining me. And as always, look out for the intraday report, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the day and the great start to the new weekend.